Alright guys, we did the Bears yesterday. This is episode 2, sticking in NFC North. Doing the Packers, little cheesehead in here guys. So, welcome back to the crazy Sasquatch. He's a little social distancing, he's out in the woods right now staying away from people. Can't blame him right now, so he'll be back. At any rate, this is episode 2. We're going to try to do all 32 teams here. So, we're going to touch base on this one. I might be a little biased on this one. Being a shareholder, guys, I am an owner of the Packers, so we got some say in this one. All right, so let's get going. Packers. Jordan Love's one word I got to say, or 2 words, his name. I don't know how Aaron Rodgers is going to take it. He's going to feel just like Brett Favre did, and he did a few years back. You see your apprentice, your heir, sitting right there next to you on the bench. You know, Rodgers and Favre didn't have the greatest relationship. I don't know where Love and Rodgers is gonna go here. Rodgers may play with a chip on his shoulder. He may feel a little slighted. I don't know. We'll see how Rodgers takes this. You know, seeing his heir apparent being drafted, he's gonna feel just like Favre did. You know, so to me, in the draft, the Packers didn't do a whole lot for this year. They're more building for the future. You know, draft a quarterback. Then they draft a running back. They lost Jimmy Graham, so they draft a tight end. You know, some pieces are coming together, but they're all rookies. You know, so yes, they have a good team around Rodgers right now. Devontae Adams is one of the top receivers in the league. Aaron Jones, I like him as a running back. Other wide receivers, they picked up Funchess in the offseason. I don't know how it's going to work out. They got some young talent. Other wide receivers, Rodgers has got to trust him. Rodgers has got to start hitting his targets. The last couple of years, you've seen a little hit and miss guys on his targeting. I think their coach now is more of a heavy runs, you know, pass, bounce of just pass. Like McCartney was. You're seeing a lot more runs and less passing, and when he does passes, it seems like he's not hitting as well. So I don't know what to expect out of the Packers this year. You know, Rodgers may be fired up with this, you know, their draft picks. So we'll see. But immediately they really didn't do a whole lot. They lost Balaga. Yeah, they picked up Wagner, kind of replacement. I don't know if that's going to be a real close one or not. My biggest loss for the Packers is Blake Martinez. I like Blake Martinez. Came out of the backfield, you know, hard-nosed player. Got a lot of, you know, game time in. Really played hard when he was in there. Packers always hurt for the run, and now you're taking some of that linebacker out of there in the middle. Yeah, you got the Smith boys coming around the outside. You have some decent guys out in the backfield, you know, and Amos and Savage and some of those guys. But up that middle, losing Blake Martinez could be something that may hurt the Packers worse. I mean, you saw what San Francisco did to them in the playoffs last year. They really didn't do a whole lot to address their lack of run defense. You get a good running team. Remember that, a good running team, Packers may be in trouble. You know, if they're forcing Rodgers' hand, yeah, he can throw some miracle passes in there, but he's getting a little, last couple years, he can miss too. So, saying at that, Brett, you got anything to add to the Packers?
The only thing you didn't say is they picked up 2 or 3 rookie offensive linemen.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. They got a couple rookies in the draft. So, with that, we'll start going with our predictions here. Like I said, this is not game by game. We're not going to predict the score yet. We'll do that once the season starts. Right here, what we're just doing is an overall, how we think their season's going to do. So, like I said, week 1, we'll get into the scores and everything like that. Right now, we're just going to do an overall. So, with that, we'll get going here of what we think they're going to do in the 2020 season.
And we already wrote what we did for Chicago for yesterday's video.
Yeah, being we picked Chicago's yesterday, we got to keep that the same. So we'll go over that. Packers at Minnesota. Minnesota lost one of their top wide receivers. Lost a couple of defensive guys. They're still going to be a potent team. I think Minnesota and the Packers are going to be right there with each other this year. At Minnesota. Minnesota's a tough one. But like I said, they lost a few players. I'm not going to get into too many players that they picked up. They did pick up a good wide receiver. First game in, though, will he be ready? Packers might have an edge on this one. I'm giving the Packers an edge because they're bringing in some veterans. Yeah, they don't have a veteran tight end to kind of swing to, but they do have the veteran running backs, as well as Minnesota. But wide receiver-wise, they have that, or Minnesota don't have that. So I'm giving, because of that, I'm giving the Packers, trying to give them a win. Maybe this is a sign of things to come. I will give the Packers a win, and winning this one is just because of too many rookies on Minnesota. Brett?
At Minnesota, but Vikings did lose their number one receiver, and the Packers lost one of their middle linebackers, so that kind of evens out. But the Packers and Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Jones, I think the Vikings defensive line will break through more since they lost Bulaga on the Packers. But I think Aaron Rodgers will make some good throws early in the season and win this game for the Vikings, and win the game against the Vikings, and it'll be the first win of the season.
All right, week 2, back at Lambeau Field. Detroit's doing some good things. They're just not quite on the caliber of the rest of the teams in the NFC North yet. I do like the rookie running back they drafted. I don't think he'll be starting yet. Swift, I don't think he'll be starting yet. I just don't see them having the firepower right now to hang with. Green Bay, as I said, got the Smith brothers coming off the corners. Stafford's not as mobile as he used to be. He never really was, but Green Bay in Lambeau, get their second win of the season.
Detroit at Lambeau Field. Detroit has always been one of the best teams at the very start of the year, then they slowly decline over the year. And this is one game which Packers always beat Detroit at Lambeau Field by like the last minute. And Packers, even at not Lambeau Field, the Packers barely beat the Lions by like a field goal at the last second. So I think the exact same thing will happen this game at Lambeau Field, and the Packers will win their second week in a row.
All right, week 3 at the Saints. To me, the Saints, Drew Brees' last year, like I said yesterday. They got a Super Bowl caliber team. I don't think the Packers got enough firepower to stay with them at home. I think the Saints are just going to throw, and run when the time gets up. I just can't see the Packers staying with the Saints. This is my first loss of the season for them.
And like last video, I said the Saints are one of the best defenses, and I think the best offense in NFL. And the Packers won't keep up with the Saints offense. And I don't think the Packers can handle the Saints defense. I think it would probably be, the Saints will probably win by 10 points in this game, but I don't think the Packers have enough firepower and the defense to beat the Saints.
Okay, week 4, back at Lambeau. If this was at Atlanta, I would give Atlanta because of Julio Jones and Ridley. Two good, top-notch wide receivers. Matt Ryan throw it to them. I would give this to the Falcons at Atlanta. But being it's at Lambeau, you don't know what field conditions are going to be. Too many factors. Rodgers plays well at home. Matt Ryan's, I don't think he can get away from the bull rush coming in from the Smith brothers. I think this is going to be a really close game. It could go either way if everybody's healthy on both teams. But as of right now, being it's at Lambeau, not on AstroTurf where the receivers can just take off and run like they can in Atlanta. I'm giving the Packers a very close win in Lambeau against the Falcons.
And of course it's at Lambeau, and every single time the Falcons and Packers face off, it's also last minute win. But at Lambeau, Packers have a slight edge. Like they probably have double the edge of any team at their own home turf. But if the Falcons had a slightly better defense, maybe one elite cornerback, they would probably win this. But at Lambeau and with that defense, Packers are going to get another win for the season.
Next, we got the bye week. Sorry, I forgot to mark the bye week, guys. Tampa Bay. At Tampa Bay against Brady? Tom Brady, Tampa Bay. Yeah, guys. At Tampa Bay against Tom Brady. Two top-notch wide receivers. Running back, I'm not sure. Brady can make any running back good, and you've seen that in New England. You know, they can play 3 or 4 different running backs in the same game and dink and dunk to them and short passes. Got Gronk and Mike Evans, and I said I think it's going to be a shooting match, high-scoring game. I think Brady's going to know enough about dink and dunking to keep the Smith brothers at bay a little bit. You're already talking the 6th game of the season. Brady's going to be learning the offense. Tampa Bay don't have as good as defense as Green Bay should have, but with those 2 wide receivers out back there, they're tight ends, and if Brady can make anything happen, which he will, I think he's got a point to prove. You know, out of New England, can he win otherwise? I think it's going to be another loss for the Packers at Tampa Bay.
And at Tampa Bay, like that trio I mentioned in the last video with Mike Evans, Tom Brady, and Gronkowski, I don't think the Packers defense can handle that. And with the Tampa Bay defense, they're about average to above average defense. And with the Packers offense, they will score a lot of points against the defense, but it's going to take a lot of time to get through their defense. And with the Tampa Bay offense, they're just going to shred the Packers defense. And they're going to have their second loss of the season.
Okay, week 7 at the Texans. Here you got a mobile quarterback, guys. A quarterback that can run, make things happen. I'm not sure what the running back situation. They've made other players work there before. Cook coming in as their number 1 wide receiver, possibly. Speedy guy. He's not what they lost. They still got J.J. Watt. You still got some decent players on the defense on this team. It's going to be a tough one, guys, but I think the Packers should be able to pull this one off. I think the Texans are missing a few key weapons. Packers got a little bit of defense. It could be a close one. I said you got a mobile quarterback that can make things happen here, but Packers going to pull this one off.
At Texans, if it was at Lambeau, Packers would easily win this. But at Texans, they did lose the number 1 receiver, but they still have good receivers like Stills on their team. And I think the Texans' offense is 100% better than Packers' offense, except for maybe their offensive line. And their defense, Packers are probably an average defense to above average, and the Texans are probably above average and above average defense. And I don't see the Packers winning this. I think that Deshaun Watson, with his running game, will escape the Packers defense. And I don't think Packers have much success on defense, and that's what their downfall is going to be in this game.
Week 8. Playing 2 teams twice in the same season is always harder to beat them a second time. By now, if that rookie wide receiver Minnesota's got showing by 8 weeks, he's going to start showing up. He's going to start, if he's what they think he is. You're going to have 2 decent wide receivers back. You still got your number 1 running back. You got a decent, accurate Kirk Cousins, not a mobile Kirk Cousins, so you can't get blitzed. You got Rudolph, still number 1 tight end. Packers are losing or missing some of these key factors, like a good tight end. Their rookie may be good. We don't know yet. I know they got Mercedes Lewis. I think he's got some age to him. Hard to beat the same team twice in the season. At Minnesota, they get the full running game, full speed of everybody going. Good running back, missing Blake Martinez. I think it may show up here, guys, in that middle of the Packers defense. hard to beat a team twice in the same season.
And at Lambeau Field, like the Packers did lose Blake Martinez and the best player on offensive line, and the Vikings did lose their best receiver. But I think the Packers even have more of an advantage at Lambeau Field, and I don't think the Vikings would win if the Vikings lost at Minnesota. I think they would lose. I think they would lose at Lambeau Field, so I'm giving a win to the Packers.
So how many people saw the San Francisco playoff game against Green Bay last year? Wasn't pretty. Missing Blake Martinez. I don't see a whole lot being brought in to replace that type of a player. San Fran's got one heck of a defense, guys. I guess that's all I can say about this. You got a tough defense against a young playoff team here. Couple decent running backs. They're gonna wear them out. I hate to say it. Same as last year's in the playoffs. San Francisco's going to run through them. That's at San Fran too. Always hard for a East Coast team traveling to the West Coast.
And at San Francisco, the Packers they have even more of a disadvantage. But like you mentioned last year, the Packers in the playoffs and in the main season, they destroyed the Packers, and I don't think it would change next year when the Packers got their defense worse.
So at Jacksonville, guys, Jacksonville, I mean, I just don't know if they've got enough firepower, offense or defensively. I mean, they got Gardner Minshew who can make a lot of things happen. They got some okay wide receivers. Fournette, he's still there. They got a decent potent offense. I just don't see them holding up to what Green Bay has. It's at home on Lambeau Field. Hard to beat the Packers there, guys. I just don't see the Jacksonville Jaguars having enough of a defense and overall team right now to beat the Packers at home.
And at Lambeau Field, Jacksonville with their quarterback in Minshew, he is an above-average quarterback in my opinion. But I don't think he'll get enough big plays against the Packers defense. And I don't think the Jacksonville defense is going to stand up against the Packers offense. So I'm going to put the win for the Packers.
So week 11, guys, it's going to be interesting. Phillip Rivers playing with the Colts. It's at Indy in a dome. Colts got a couple decent running backs. And I got Mack, which is their lean-to guy last year. I got Jonathan Taylor from the Badgers, tough running back. What I say about running backs against the Packers defense, here you got two running backs, a veteran and a rookie that's by this time of the season he should be knowing the playbook, getting his feet wet pretty good. T.Y. Hilton, Phillip Rivers. Colts don't have a bad defense. They're a playoff caliber team this year. So are the Packers. But I think at Indy they can run and fly. Phillip Rivers is going to know this offense by then. It's going to be a close one. It's going to be a really close one. But I hate to say it, guys, this is where some of the defense on the defense versus that running is going to show up again for the Packers.
And at the Colts, so the Packers against the Colts have T.Y. Hilton and Rivers, and that's a good duo on their offense. And their offensive line is, I think, above average to average. And I don't think the Packers defense are fast enough or to handle T.Y. Hilton. And the Packers have, I think, one cornerback that is 2 years in. So I think T.Y. Hilton will show some moves and some jukes and get plays open for the Colts defense, for the Colts offense, and score a lot of points for the Colts. I don't think the Packers can catch up to the Colts offense with Phillip Rivers and T.Y. Hilton.
And for you fantasy guys, Phillip Rivers has always loved tight ends. Remember Antonio Gates, some of these tight ends that the rookie that had a couple years ago on the Chargers. like Hunter. But anyway, Philip Rivers is like going to his tight ends. He's always relied on them. Colts has got, I believe his name's Doyle. Didn't show a whole lot last year, but you got a quarterback that likes dunking to the tight ends. Fantasy player, try to get the Colts first their first line tight end, which I believe is going to be Doyle. Just a little fantasy pick there, guys. Say it, Brett. Say it, the Bears. All right. Philly. It's at home against Lambeau. Got starting quarterback that can move a little bit. Some decent wide receivers. I love Miles Sanders. Going into fantasy, guys. Running back that can do it all. Catch, run. Miles Sanders is going to be their starter here, guys. Run. Phillies don't have that bad of a defense. Playoff caliber team here against the Packers. Aaron Rodgers misses a few. I know it's going to be at Lambeau, but against the run, and if Wentz is on, I hate to say it, guys, I think the Eagles are coming here fighting for their division with the Cowboys and the Giants. I think the Philly's going to surprise some people in this one. I just got a bad feeling about this one, guys.
Philadelphia, this is the only team in the NFL I can say this for, but they're overall a solid team. And the Packers have a lot of holes in their offense and a lot of holes in their defense. But at Lambeau Field, Packers do have a giant advantage, more than anyone at home. But I think Philadelphia will win probably barely, like last second. But I think they're going to win. Packers can't handle their offense or defense.
Week 14 at the Lions. As I said before, the Lions is an up-and-coming team. It's at Lions this time. I still just don't feel Stafford's going to be able to move enough to get away from that bull rush of the Smith brothers. And a few mistakes here and there, it's over. But this time, I think Swift is going to be the Lions' probably starting running back. Good running back, but not enough to go against that type of defense yet. Lions are up and coming. They're not quite there yet with this caliber of a team, like the Packers are. So Packers get another win here.
And at Lions, the Lions are probably the most underrated team in the NFC, but they're probably an average team. And the Packers, like I said with Philadelphia, have a lot of holes in their offense and defense. And so do the Lions, but they have very few. The Lions have always had an average to above average offensive line, and if the Packers losing their Bulaga, and they got one of the Lions offensive linemen from Lions, and it's now on the Packers. I don't think with the Lions offense, I think they will get a lot of openings, and the Packers will probably get stopped by the Lions defense. And I think the Packers at Lions will not handle the Lions that well. Late in the season, Lions are always bad, but I think they would pull this one off at Lions. So Packers lose this match.
Panthers, guys. Week 15 Panthers. We have a Teddy Bridgewater sighting if he stays healthy. Played good for the Saints. Mobile quarterback. Showed pretty good accuracy last year coming back after being off a couple years. What's the Panthers got? One of the top, maybe the top, or one of the top 5 running backs in the league with McCaffrey. They keep him running, manage the clock. I know the Panthers got okay defense, not a great defense, but they can manage the clock. Bridgewater do a little running here and there. McCaffrey do some running here and there. Dink and dunk. Throw some deep ones downfield. I know it's at Lambeau, guys. By this time it's getting cold and wintry out, but I got faith in Bridgewater. Probably a fantasy pick, guys, a cheap one. Bridgewater might be one you want to look at. Young mobile quarterback. But this time of the season, if Rodgers, he's showing his age, he might be getting a little beat up. He just played some good teams right through here. Rodgers going to beat up a little bit. Sasquatch just took off over his motorcycle, guys. So if you heard that, Sasquatch just saw us and took off. Yeah, he rides. So, anyway, Panthers. I hate to say it, Packers. I think the Panthers got a lot of mobile weapons that could beat you Even though it's at Lambeau, it's going to be a. I think Panthers will be looking for the playoffs by this time. They're going to be hungry for this one. Packers also going to be hungry, but man, I hate to do it this late in the season, but I can see Rodgers getting a little beat up by now.
And at Lambeau Field, the Packers, I think Aaron Rodgers with like the rookies at the Panthers defense, they would probably start as a middle linebacker or backups from last year since they lost Luke Kuechly as a middle linebacker. Aaron Rodgers is probably going to see a lot of openings, but with McCaffrey and the Packers' bad run defense, those two kind of equal out. But since if it was at Panthers, I would give the win to the Panthers. But since it's at Lambeau, I'm going to give the Packers the win.
All right, Gary's Tennessee. What do they have? A beast, Derrick Henry. What can he do? He can run. This game, if the Packers win it, probably go into the playoffs. Packers lose it, maybe not. Bad thing is, if they lose this game, they'll lose the last 3 of the season. You got a quarterback controversy going into 2021 with Love. Is Rodgers going to be around? This is going to be a key game for Rodgers if these are accurate. I mean, this is our opinion, guys. So these could be way off, whatever. But this is our opinion. But they lose 3 in a row to end the season, and my prediction, not his, my prediction. If they lose 3 in a row, Rodgers going out on a losing season. If they miss the playoffs, holy crap! Talk about controversy with Love starting next year. What Rodgers is going to do. I see it happening. Between Derrick Henry, the quarterback, Tennessee Titans are a playoff caliber team. I hate doing this, guys, but I know it's at Lambeau. If they can't stop the run against McCaffrey, against Henry, you're talking some of the top best runners in the league right here against possible playoff caliber teams. I don't want to see this for Aaron Rodgers' sake. For the Packers' sake, they lose these 3, and it's going to be rumor city all over, but that's what I see happening.
And at Lambeau Field, if McCaffrey's going to have a good running game, Derrick Henry's definitely going to have a running game. He can, with a Packers' bad running defense, Henry's probably going to run over all the Packers' linemen and all of the middle linebackers, and I think that Derrick Henry's definitely gonna have like 100 rushing game this game. And the Packers' offense and defense, Tennessee is just overall better on both sides of the ball, and I don't see the Packers winning this at all, even though it's at Lambeau. I'm gonna give the loss to the Packers.
Oh, that's funny. Double check this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll be dang. Well, we didn't predict that. So we do this live, guys. We don't edit. We just go with it. We don't edit. It happens to be both 7 and 9. I said this is one take. We do it.
And we don't script.
Yeah, we don't script. We look at some notes and say, okay, here, that's good. Let's do this. So it's our own knowledge coming out freely. We're not trying to script anything. We just have fun with this. So. Both of us 7 and 9 with the Packers. That's borderline playoff team, guys. Right here could be Aaron Rodgers' last go around. I don't know. We'll see what happens here. But if you like our channel, guys, subscribe to us. I said we're going to do the rest of the teams, the whole division or the whole NFL. We're going to do all of them one by one. We just happen to start with a couple of our favorite teams here first. We're going to go down the list, and then once season starts, we'll do our weekly. Our weekly competition of wins and losses and scores and kind of fantasy players. Right now, we're just going to go over the season, who they picked up, stuff like that. So if you like us, subscribe to us, leave some comments. You guys suck. You guys are good. We love you. Sasquatch, we want to see more of him. We can get him in here.
And we are doing the Lions next video.
Yep, Lions are next, guys. So Lions, and then we'll do the Vikings, and then we'll do the who's going to win the division You know, the NFC North. By the time you watch all 4 episodes, you can get an idea. But we're not going to say what our predictions are. So we'll do the Lions, do the Vikings, and then we'll give a rundown of that division once we finish the 4th team, and we'll move on to another division. So thanks for your time, guys. Hope you like us. If you want more Sasquatch, we'll get him in here too, and he can do some funny pictures of his own. But he's been out in the bush for a while, so I don't know how well he's up on things. He's been hiding from humans lately, so we'll get him in here though. I can bribe him. He likes beef jerky, so we can bribe him in here. He'll still smell it a mile away. So thanks, guys. Episode 2, take.